Hey, welcome back. And oh my gosh, well, I'm not so sure, who I am or why I'm here or what this is all about, but I am Coach Jim Stroker, and probably better known for Ali Stroker's dad. And I had the amazing opportunity to be in that school that you're in right now in BF for 36 years. I mean, you can 36 years. So I'm like 97 years old. No, I'm 68, but 36 years of bliss, 36 years of just experiencing the greatest thing in my life. And I actually went to BF. And I actually was in one of those seats, not with a mask on, but I was there way back in the 60s. And so I got to school there. I've taught there. And I've spent my entire life really wanting to be where I am right now, which is in a position where I can sit back, get a big panoramic view, take a deep breath, and try to really help people of diverse populations. So I've had the luxury now of speaking in thousands of locker rooms. And I've actually spoken in hundreds of boardrooms. I had the opportunity to speak at Yale and in 3 different jails. And I've had the opportunity to be in hospitals. And I've had the opportunity to talk to thousands of kids about trying to become the best they can become and try to inspire them, give hope, even when times are tough, even when you're in a prison cell, even when you're in a bed in a hospital, even when your parents are going through a divorce, or you yourself have just experienced someone you love who's no longer here. Because life is just a series of problem-solving events. And what I've learned is the problem is not the problem, but it's the way you see the problem. That's the problem. So you are enrolled in a full-time life called school. And right now you are back in an experience you've never, ever been in before. An experience that can, by nature, this amygdala part of the brain, by nature, you can feel afraid, anxious, and unsure. And that's that part of the brain's job, to scan the world and see what's dangerous. It's called the amygdala, to scan the world and see what might go wrong. And that's its job. And it does a great job when you think about maybe walking across Route 17. The amygdala kicks in and goes, be careful. When maybe you feel yourself in a really difficult, challenging situation with your friends, that amygdala might kick in and go, be careful. So it does have a job. But your job also, as Joseph Campbell said, is to become the hero of your own life. And look at the challenges that you face as challenges that you're ready for. And then march forward with courage and strength and slowly lean in to those difficulties. So blah, 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 blah. So anyway, look, I hope as a 7th grader now, you realize you've changed positions. It's like someone who was a catcher or a shortstop or a point guard or a quarterback. You're changing positions. So like you've been here before. You don't need to be like a 6th grader looking around, trying to figure out how to get down the hall and whether or not you can find your next class, you know where you are now. So your role has changed as a seventh grader. You're no longer a rookie, you're a veteran. And as a veteran, you have an important job, and that is to be a leader. So everyone I'm speaking to, every seventh grader, every teacher, every custodian, every administrator, every mom and every dad, every person is a leader. Because leaders lead by example. And every one of us is being watched. And what we do speaks much louder than what we say. So just today, think of yourself as that leader. Walk into that school as a new seventh grader and be excited about your mission. All right. Slow down. Look, remember what Yoda said to Luke when Luke says, look, Yoda, I'll try to do it. I'll try to be a leader. And Yoda pauses, looks back at him and says, hey, Luke, do or do not. There is no try. Do or do not. You see, there's two types of people. Those who do and those who don't. Those who do try to show up every day, be brave, make a concerted effort to be kind to others, and those who don't. There's two types of people. Those people that come to school and give of themselves to others, and those who don't. There's two types of people, those who do and those who don't. And those that do, there's another two types. All the doers are over here. Now you have two types of people, two types of doers. Those who do what's expected and those who do more than what's expected. So it's a great story that occurred at Montclair State University, and it's told a lot by my mentor, my coach, the great Rob Gilbert, Dr. Rob Gilbert. Talks about a student that he had. Her name was Moses Saprio, and she was just a regular young lady, not a genius, not a superstar, just a regular young lady. And came in freshman year, and she did some interesting things. At the end of every class, she'd walk up to each teacher, and she would ask, I just want to get clear, very clear, on my homework assignment. The teacher would go, I gave it to you. You know, she said, please be clear with it. The teacher would say, look, let's go over it again. I want you to do problems number 7, 14, 21, 28, and 29. And she'd write it down again. And then she'd ask the history teacher, I just want to get clear on the assignment. And the teacher would say, yes, I want you to read chapters 1, 2, 3, and 5. And she'd write it down. And then she'd walk up to her wellness teacher and they'd tell her, yes, I want you to run 1 mile. And then she'd stop in at her English teacher, and the English teacher would say, yes, I want you to write 4 pages. Do you know what that girl did? You know what she did? She not only did questions number 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, she also did 36 and 37. She didn't just run 1 mile, she ran 1.25 miles. She didn't just write 3 pages for her English assignment, she wrote 3.5. No matter what the assignment was, she did a little bit more than what was expected. And that Moses Saprio, one class after the next, she never missed a class, just like brushing her teeth. She always did a little bit more than what was expected. Well, Moses Saprio, her name right now is Dr. Moses Saprio. She is a neuroscientist. She got all A's for 4 years at Montclair State for one reason. She just did a little bit more than what was expected. I think you know a lot of people in your life. I think you know a lot of people that are very nice. But I bet you would count on your hand 5 people that you've met who have always done just a little bit more than they had to. You can be that person today. Look, there's 2 types of people, those who do and those who don't. And then there's 2 types of people of the doers, those who do what's expected and those who do more than what's expected. And then, of course, don't forget, those who do more than what's expected, there's those who do it willingly and those who do it eagerly. Go home in your house today and do a little something more than what you are expected to do. Be kind to your friends and do a little bit more than they'd expect anyone could do. And you'll always find yourself at the top of the ladder. So blah, 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 so much talk, so much talk, so much talk. Hey, I know you know how to play Simon Says, right? I know you know how to play. Okay, Simon Says, put your right hand up. Come on. Simon Says, put your right hand up. Put it down. I didn't say Simon Says. Come on. You got to listen closely now. Let's start over. Simon Says, right hand up. Simon Says, left hand up. Simon Says, both hands down. Both hands up. I didn't say Simon Says. Come on. Follow the game. All right. Simon Says, put your right hand on your ear. Simon Says, put your left hand on your ear. Simon Says, put your right hand on your lap. Simon Says, put your left hand on your lap. Simon Says, put your right hand on your chin. Simon Says, put your left hand on your chin. Simon Says, put both hands down. Oh my gosh. What is this class? Don't you remember in first grade, this is your nose. These are your ears. This is your chin, not this. So why on earth would you ever have done this? Because you're watching me, not listening to me. You're watching what I do. Your actions speak much louder than your words. For 30 years, they studied leaders. Barry Rossner, James Kouzes, they did 30 years of research on following leaders. You know what the most important thing that a leader does? DWYSYWD. Let me repeat it. DWYSWD. The most important thing a leader like you can do is DWYSWD. Do what you say you will do. Do what you say you will do. Do what you say you will do, not only once in a while, but all the time. It's called developing trust. Trust is the most important, the most valuable thing that you can ever attain. Trust, water, and fire went for a walk. They walked into the woods. And then they got in a little bit deeper in the woods. And water stopped and said, hey guys, it's getting kind of eerie in here. If we lose each other, how on earth are we going to find each other? Well, fire says, look, you lose me, just go right over by the smoke. I'll be right over by the smoke and you'll always be able to find me. Water said, look, you lose me, go right over by the green grass and you'll find me. I'll be there. And then Trust looked at Water and Fire and said, guys, you lose me, be very careful. You may never be able to find me again. Trust is our most valued commodity. Trust means that you consistently do what you say you will do. 7th graders, you've got one big job. Develop trust with your teachers, with your friends, with your parents, and be someone who is trustworthy. And you'll get the most important thing you can ever receive. It's called freedom. Well, let's talk about freedom and school. Why on earth would you even go to school? Oh my God, this is stupid. What? This Spanish class, I'm never going to go to Spain. What do I have to take science for? I'm not going to be a scientist. What do I have to learn this math problem for? This is the stuff I used to say back in 1966. Why do I have to learn this stuff? I want to be a coach. Well, it has nothing to do with whether you think you want to use it in the future. School is about one thing. School is about developing 3 of the most important virtues you can ever develop. They're called diligence, hard work, and determination. Diligence, hard work, and determination. Because I said it earlier, school, it's just a series of problem-solving events that anyone can solve. But the problem with problems is not the problems. It's the time that it takes to solve the problems. There isn't one problem on this earth that you can't solve without patience and time. And you right now have inside you the diligence, hard work, and determination to do that. If you will develop these qualities, you can do anything in your life. And if you can be rewarded with a grade that says you're a hard worker, then one day you can go any school you want and do anything you want. And one day you'll have the greatest gift you could ever dream of. It's called freedom. Doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, with the people that you love doing it with. And that is why you go to school, to develop those qualities. Stop asking why. It's just hard work, period. I've trained a lot of kids in the weight room. Trained a lot of kids on the fields, on the courts. In every practice, I try to make it difficult. Every workout, these young athletes come in and go, Coach, make it difficult. I want to get stronger. They want it to be difficult because they realize no growth occurs when it's easy. No growth occurs unless you are able to get outside of your comfort zone and push through the challenges. You can do it. I know you can. Well, back on October 30th, 1989, it was about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was in room 127. I was writing on the board like this because we were entering our drug unit. And I wrote the definition of character, the ability to persist against constant opposition. And all of a sudden, our principal, Paul Folkmar, came to the door and said, Jim, come quickly. And I ran outside, and Paul said, Jim, Jody, my wife, Jake and Allie have been in a car accident right down the corner of North Pleasant and Ridgewood Avenue. Excuse me, North Pleasant and Linwood, right over by the hospital. Ran in Paul's car and raced there. And that day, that moment, that blink of an eye, my life would change forever. And they were in a car accident, and Allie was 2. She was paralyzed from the chest down. And Jake, age 4, was unconscious and placed into a coma and laid in a coma for 20 days. Allie developed pneumonia, and she and Jake were both transported to St. Joseph's Pediatric Intensive Care Unit in Patterson, and both were that close to death. Well, the day before, my life was as great as it could be. And I would never, ever, ever have imagined that this could have happened. Would never thought that my life would change so dramatically, but it did. Before COVID-19 hit, I was doing a lot of things, and then all of a sudden, it changed dramatically. I would never have guessed that we would be where we are with the social unrest, with the economy and the position it's in, with the number of people who have died. I would never have thought it would happen, but it did. Uncertainty has always been out there. I guess we never thought that it would. Well, the experience I went through with Jake and Allie is very much what you're going through right now. It's something you didn't plan, either did I. It's something that you never thought that you'd deal with, either did I. But I had to. And soon I realized that what had happened to Jake and Allie was something that was totally out of my control. The fact that Allie would never walk again was out of our control. The fact that Jake might never wake up again. And when he did, he woke up with one arm, an IQ that was very challenged at 75, a totally different situation. It was out of our control, out of our control. Just like the weather, just like the traffic, just like COVID-19. Just like if a friend is not happy, just like if your mom gets sick, just like if someone passes away, it's out of our control. But what I found out is what was in our control was our effort, our attitude, and my response to what had happened. There's an equation that I've lived on. E plus R equal O. The events in our life plus our response equal the outcome. The events are out of your control. But how you respond to that event, your effort, your attitude, your actions are in your control. And the outcome is then on you. As you know, my daughter Allie never walked again, but she wheeled herself onto that stage to win that Tony Award last summer. As you've seen, maybe, my son Jake, he never had use of one arm again and was told he could never go to college. He graduated from Fairleigh Dickinson with honors. He has 2 beautiful sons, and he was given the Employee of the Year award at Whole Foods. You can do anything, regardless of COVID-19, regardless of how difficult life is for you. You can do much more than you ever believed you could. You can do it with a faith and a belief with grit, hard work, and determination. You can do it with an attitude that says, no matter how hard something is, I know I can pull it off. On our football teams, we had a line. It was called above the line and below the line. Our job on our team was to get as many people above that line as we could. Because the below the line were people who were complaining about how hard it was. People who were blaming people things for why it was hard. Complaining and blaming. Walking around and pulling down the energy level. People who were defensive. People who were walking around each day giving us reasons why they could have, should have, and would have. And then there are people above the line, stepping up in the face of challenges and becoming the best they could, even when it was tough. You see, a pro, a great player does their best when they feel like it their least. Get above that line. Rise up this year during a challenge. Come to school with that mask on. Even when it's tough, stay focused on what you know you should. Give to others. Show up in each class. Be brave. March forward. Even though it's difficult, be kind to others and smile under that mask. And don't let anyone steal your peace. The great Marianne Williamson said the following: our greatest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our greatest fear is that you and I are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that scares us most. We wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say, who am I to be a leader? Who am I to step up during COVID-19 and look at as an opportunity, not an obstacle? Who am I to be brilliant, to be strong, to be courageous? Who am I? But who are you not to be? You are a hand-picked child of God. And you playing small does not serve the world. Go out today and be a light bulb. Shine your light on others. Stay plugged in and step it up, even when others would understand that it's okay to give a half-speed job. It's okay to throw the towel in. It's okay to scream uncle, but don't. Do more than what's expected, like Dr. Moses Saprio. I love you guys. Have a great year. Make this the year that you look back at, the year you're most proud of, the year of COVID-19 when you were challenged to be your best, but you were the best you've ever been. Teachers, administrators, custodians, secretaries, and every seventh grader. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. No one's ever given anything in their life they can't handle. Have a great, great day. And I hope we'll be back in touch. Eat 'em up.